Hey, what's going on? It's Tafty from Tafty's Home for Wayward Guitars. Welcome back to part 7. I can't believe that. Today is finish day. We got our body ready. I've been raising the grain with a little bit of water and knocking it down. I've probably got one more application of that. And then we're going to get to staining and possibly a little bit of hand-applied poly over the top. I'm not exactly sure of the color combination I'm going to do yet. I have 2 plans for that, and we'll get to that in a second. Yeah, so finish. Come on back. Let's check it out. So here it is, Plan A. As you know, I like to have a lot of different plans. So Plan A, this is going to be blue, the swoop. Calling it the swoop. Then I have 2 plans for the lower areas. If all works out, and I'm going to tape off these 2 areas, stain this, the dye doesn't seep into areas that it's not supposed to, then these 2 spots are going to be left natural. I think that'll look pretty cool. There's going to be a faux binding just at these lower spots. And the rest of this is going to be black. Then the back is just going to be like a black burst with a trans black in the middle. I think it'll look pretty cool. If dye gets into places where it's not supposed to, I have no problem dyeing these black. I'm good with that. It'll look killer. Either way, really. So that's Plan A and Plan B. Nothing is ever guaranteed in guitar building. Don't we know that by now? Anyway, all right. The body. So, I've got the sections masked off that I was talking about. I taped off for a faux binding on both sides. And with any luck, we'll be able to leave these areas kind of natural, and I think it'll look pretty cool. But like I said, if I have to black burst these 2 spots, it's not the end of the world. It'll look great either way. Oh, and I also spent yesterday prepping the body the exact same way that I did the neck. So I drilled the holes through for the controls. So the wiring can go through the two pickup cavities, and I also drill for the bridge. Obviously, that's done. Strength of the body. I was able to do that. I have not laid out controls yet. I'm going to wait on that. I like to wait until the neck is on so that I can actually hold the guitar and kind of feel where those controls should be, if that makes any sense. Oh, and I also adjusted the neck pocket so that the neck fit the way it was supposed to. This thing. So my plan... Yeah, plan. So my plan is to hit it with the blue, and after the stain dries, I'm going to knock that back a little bit with probably some gray Scotch-Brite. I'm hoping that what I get out of that is something like what I did on my test piece here. There's probably half a dozen tests going on in this piece, but the part I want you to look at is the center section here. This was something different, this was something different. This middle section here is what I was kind of looking at. And I like the way that the grain stays kind of light with the blue around it. So that's what I'm hoping for. This is awful. Hopefully we don't come up with anything like that. But that center section right there is what I'm hoping for. All right. So what I have here is body. I have my blue dye all mixed up. pretty good strength. It's probably, it's almost 50-50. I like to mix it with water. And that's about what we have here. Gives a nice transparency. I also have, just off camera here that you cannot see, this is just plain water. And use that to smooth out the blotches. That's been working pretty good for me the last few times I've done it. So I've got my, yeah, we don't want to look at that one. That one's not good. Got my gloves and got my cloths all cut up. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw this. Probably kind of hard to see, but I carved a forearm relief. Oh, you can kind of see it there. There it is. Just knocked the edge off, but it really looks great. It follows this contour here. And yeah, I'm really happy with that. And it'll be way more comfortable to play, which makes everybody happy. All right, enough stalling. Oh, yeah, that one's not gonna work. All right, this is just a hunk of t-shirt cloth. And I am, oh boy, here we go. I am about to throw some dye. Now, when I get to the edges here, that's not going to matter too much because I'm going to do the sides of the body black and kind of burst it a little bit onto the blue. So I'll just carry it down far enough so that I can bring the black up over it. Why the side's going to be black, you ask? But when you get to the end grain at the top and bottom, it never comes out even, no matter how you try to blend it. So I just I do the sides black and to avoid all that. All right, I'm really liking that. See how dark that gets on the end grain? And there's just no way around that, so to make sure I do get really good coverage around the pickups, because I'm going to direct mount them. So we're not going to have any pickup rings. All right, splotches are gone. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to try to clean up that little mess I made. And we'll come back. We'll hit it with the Scotch-Brite and see if I get the effect I want. So as you can see, you can't see, there's a contrast there. You can see it there. I got a pretty good contrast going between the dyed wood and the grain. I like that. And my finish coat is, oh, sorry about that. My finish coat is definitely going to highlight all that. So I think I'm going to stop here, start thinking about the other colors. Meeting like this. So I've mixed up some of the black leather dye. About 50-50 with water. I actually went a little heavier with the water this time. The black tends to be really hard to thin out. And I'm going to do the back. right. Same deal, we're going to let this dry, and we're going to come back, hit it with a little bit of Scotch-Brite, try to, well, not only kind of even out the tones, but also try to bring a little bit of that grain, make that pop. All right, kind of doing the same deal on this that I did on the blue. All right, so now for the most terrifying part of it all. I'm going to try to use the black dye straight out of the bottle, dye the sides, and leave this faux binding. Wish me luck. All right, here goes. So I'm going to use the dye right out of the bottle. Get some onto my rag here. This stuff really, really covers. Now, I have to be careful not to touch anything. All right. I think I'm going to let that dry and then hit it again. Then we'll burst the back of it. Just trying to go back over the spots that are not quite enough coverage. All right. Hey, why not just move right into bursting, right? I mean, here we are. So all I'm going to do is take the black right straight out of the bottle again. Give myself a thin line around the outside of the body, and I'm going to blend it into what's going on in the back here. I can do a combination of water and some Scotch-Brite. Alright, now I'm going to bring the black onto the back itself. I just take my rag that now has very little black on it and just kind of bring that line in a little further. All right. Well, let's cover our black bottle so that we don't knock it over and make a mess. Now, you could also use the lighter black that I made to blend this in, and I might end up doing that. But I'm going to try the water first and just see how that works. The other thing is you do need a lot of rag to do this, because as you go along and you get more black on the clean rag, you'll actually accidentally spread that out. So just keep turning it. All right, I think I'm going to hit it with the other black. All right, I'm just about out of that. A little more solid of a black around the outside. If you see any hard lines kind of left over, take your original 50% black. I know it's that one because it's a we have the tie-dye rag that we had earlier, and we'll just use that to kind of blend it together. I'm not sure I want to mess with that anymore. I feel pretty good about that. Then I'm going to Scotch-Brite it and even out the areas that I have a little bit different tone going on. Well, what do you think of that, huh? I'm digging it. That's blackburst, all right. With any luck, the blue on the front will come out just as good. I am really digging that. I can't believe I didn't do the whole guitar that way. Hey, all right, that's fine. Don't eat your dinner with these. Hit it with, you know what? I think I'm going to start out with the gray Scotch-Brite. Just kind of use it to blend the rest of this in. And bring back those highlights. They're kind of cool. So, there is the blackburst. I like that a lot. So, let's see what we can do around the front. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix up some black like I had over here, the 50%. I'll hit this with the hard black just kind of around these edges. And then I think what I'm going to do is use the 50% black to kind of blend in. So I'm going to mix some of that up and we'll be right back at it. Alright, so I get a little bit more of the 50% black mixed up with our tie-dye rag. Leave that alone now and move on to the 50% black. Oh, and also, let's open up our blue in case we need some of that to blend the black. We can also use the clean water that I used before. We'll just move this rag that I had, get a different part of that. All right, so we've got the clear water, the blue, and the black. Between those, we should be able to get some kind of a burst on this thing. hate when you have two symmetrical things and you do one and it's like, that's amazing. And then you do the other one and I didn't do so amazing on that one. Hey, I was able to make it work. All right. You know what? I'm going to try a little clean water first. Just to kind of soften the edge between the two. Nope, that didn't soften anything. All right. I guess we'll try the blue instead. Now, if I do put more blue on this, I'm probably going to have to go back and hit it with the Scotch-Brite again. Just to even it out. The funny part is sometimes when you burst things like this, the tendency is to knock the black so far back that it doesn't look like a burst anymore. So we're going to try not to do that. Very subtle. It's kind of what I was going for. Just a way to bring the blue into the black, that's all. Not like a traditional kind of a burst. Just want to pull this black this way a little bit. Just blend that a little with the blue. All right, let that dry, come back, hit it with the Scotch-Brite. If these two areas have worked out the way that we wanted them to, I should be able to just strip the stuff off, have everything cool, and what we'll do is probably put at least one coat of the poly on it just to seal it. The black is subtle, the burst is subtle. The natural is not going to be subtle. That's going to really grab you. All right, so here we are. Dye is dry, blended pretty well. And now we're just bringing back a lot of those highlights that we lost when we had to use a little bit more blue. Actually, switch off to the other. There we go. All right. I do still have to clean that up. What I could probably use is a cabinet scraper to clean that off. I'm not going to get crazy right now. Maybe even a little just clean water. The big reveal. Let's take the masking tape off and see if it was all for nothing, or if this is a keeper. faux binding came out exactly how I was hoping. Like I said, I got a little bit of cleanup to do in the ledge there, but that's a keeper. Well, let's see how this side came up before I jump to conclusions. Maybe a little touch up to do with the black, maybe, just to make the edges meet. But I'm gonna say that that is also a success. Well, there it is. What do you guys think? Was it all worth it? I think it was. I think it looks great. I think it's going to be one of a kind, that's for sure. And then, of course, we got the black burst on the back. Came out excellent. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. All right, I think we can actually go ahead and give this thing one coat of clear, and that should lock everything in. All right, let's wrap this up. All right, you guys, we did it. I wasn't sure if we could, but we did. For the first time, Plan A has come to fruition. What we have here is, I don't even know how to describe it. Do you guys like it? Do you not like it? Should these have been black bursts? You tell me. A really cool thing happened before we wrap this up. So, my plan is to build some more of these. I was lucky enough to comment on one of Big D's videos, where he was giving away a bunch of stuff from Kimball Hardwoods. And he was asking for Yo Mama jokes. Lucky enough for me, I had a good one. And I posted it, and I won one of the tops. So when that top gets here, I'm going to build one of these out of it. Of course, it won't be the 3, level thing like this. I think I'm going to do a semi-hollow. And I got a build to do before that. Wow, how did I get so busy? So anyway, here we are. Very subtle blue burst on the top. Black sides, faux binding. I'll clean up the edges. And black burst on the back. If you guys have a favorite one of these, let me know. Leaving these natural really made this explode just the way I was hoping it would. I think that if I had done these black burst, it would have subdued the whole top. Not that that would have been a bad thing. Now that I've seen what the black burst actually looks like, I would have been okay with it. But I really want you guys' comments. I want you to let me know what you think of this. Next week, wow, assembly. October 14th is coming quick. So I've got to have this thing done. I've got to have it wrapped up. And I've got to have my final video on. It still seems like we've got a ways to go. But we're getting there. I have a lot of work to do before October 14th. So check me out on Instagram at Tafty's Guitars. And also on Facebook at Tafty's Guitars. But I think mostly Instagram. I'm going to fill Instagram with the stages of getting finished. So I still have a poly finish to put on top of this. I might end up doing the whole thing satin. I love satin finishes. And I'm totally okay with that. Thanks, guys, for joining me once again on our never-ending journey for the 2020 Great Guitar Build-Off Unofficial Tafty's Home for Wayward Guitars entry. Like and subscribe, and come on back. We're almost done. We're in the home stretch, man. Electronics will be fun. I don't think I'm doing anything crazy, but you know me. I'll probably change my mind. All right. Thank you.